55 years ago, a giant appeared outside of College Station, Texas. Now, this was one of 8 oval tracks in America that was 2 miles or more in length. It was incredible when it opened, and it's sad to see what it's become today, but today we're going to walk around and take a look at what remains of Texas World Speedway. Now, there's not much, unfortunately. This track was shut down in 2017, and it's become basically a housing tract. That's all that's left, is really houses and a few hills. So we're gonna look around, but this track started in 1969. Now, like I said, it was one of only 8 tracks that was 2 miles in length or more. And it really was incredible. Back in its early days, it hosted NASCAR races, IndyCar races, IMSA, and it did quite well. It even hosted concerts with Willie Nelson, Jimmy Buffett. It was really quite a premier track in its time, but it quickly fell into disrepair, which is really sad. And through the late 80s, early 90s, it hosted some ARCA races and IMSA races, things like that. But after that, it basically fell into just a track for club racing, SCCA, Porsche Club, Viper Club, things like that. And me growing up as a NASCAR fan in the early 90s, and I grew up in Albuquerque, there was no NASCAR around there. So when we moved to Texas in 1994, I was so excited that there was a big track nearby. And I remember coming out as a kid, probably in 94, 95, watching the IMSA races, and it was so cool. I really remember seeing the Ferrari. I think it was like the 333 SP, the red Ferrari with the yellow on it, said Momo on the back wing. It was so cool. I remember seeing that scream through corners 3 and 4, and it made such an impression on me. And I still have a bunch of the posters that I got signed by the drivers during that event. That was really cool. And then we came up a few times up here for the SCCA races, which was really neat. We got to see all kinds of different cars. My buddy Mark and I, the pace car for that event was like this really old Bentley from the 20s or something like that. And they let us ride in the back seat to start some of the races. So we got to sit in the back seat, looking back, seeing the race cars all staged up right behind us. It was so cool. But a lot of good memories coming out here to Texas World Speedway. It's really sad to see what it's become. Now, I did a video, man, probably 2 years ago coming out here. I'll link that above right here, showing what it was then, and it has changed a lot just in the last 2 years. Back then, some of the tracks still remained, even where the grandstands were remained. So a lot's changed since then. But let's go ahead and take a look. So I want to show you where I'm at right now. Right now I'm standing basically about where the start finish line would be, maybe just a little bit farther down, but take a look. So this is it. If you look that way, this is the front stretch right here, going like this. This is where the grandstands would have been. And they have started taking out all the dirt here. This is the front stretch going down here. And then into turn 1 would have been that way. Yeah, they've started tearing up all this dirt right here. There's basically nothing left as far as asphalt or concrete. Over here you can see turns 4, turn 3 going right over there. And that's it. Everything in the infield is gone. They've started building houses out here. This is a roundabout right here, and then there's more houses back that direction. But that's all that survives. Now, walking along here, this is the front stretch, like I said. You can actually find pieces of the track, the racing surface. See this right here? That's a chunk of the track. Pretty crazy. And they're all scattered along here where they chewed it up. You can see a few more here. Racing surface. But really sad to see the state that this is in. I actually got in contact with the developer back about 2 years ago after I came out here the first time. And along the front stretch here, you know, the grandstands were here, and right about here was the start finish line, and the flag stand was still there. And I contacted them to ask them if they would be willing to sell that I would love to take that down and preserve it, because it still had the boards on the sides, and you could see it said like Merca 300 or something. You could see where it still said that on the flag stand, and they were like, nope, no, we're not selling anything, don't contact us. So that kind of sucks. But yeah, really crazy. It's amazing to think of what happened, the things that have gone on right here on top of this dirt right here. Look at this, right on this racing surface. The greats have raced on this. Dale Earnhardt, Darrell Waltrip, they've all been out here. Richard Petty have run on this surface. So crazy. Down this front stretch. Very sad. Okay, so I'm down here in what would be kind of the entrance to turn 1, something like that. If you look down this way, again, that's the start finish line right down there. The white part that you can see is the track. This would have been the stands up here, all along there. But you can see the front stretch would have come right along here and right at us. Woo. Now I was walking along here, and this is where looks like some water is kind of dug out or something, but look at this surface here. This definitely looks like kind of a machined surface to me. A hard packed surface. You can tell the water is kind of washed away. I don't know if that was part of the building process. But this would have been the entrance to turn 1, and it would have gone on out there. So I'm walking up the hill here trying to get to the top of where the grandstands were, and it's really interesting. With all the construction they've done and moving this dirt, take a look at this. See all this dirt that they've moved? So in that process of moving all the dirt and then the rain, you know, the weather kind of washing this stuff out, I'm finding what I think is petrified wood. Really looks like it to me. So I'm going to take some of that home to my boy. He's a big rock hound, loves stuff like that. So kind of cool finds to take home to him. But let's get to the top of this hill and check out the view from the top. Okay, so I'm at the top of the hill here. Sorry if there's a little bit of wind noise. It's a little bit of a breezy day here in Texas. But let's take a look around. Look at this. I don't know if you guys can see those birds. They're kind of slope soaring off this hill. Really enjoying the breeze that they're getting. But as you can see, this is, so up top here they used to have a media stand. It was on the top part, and it was glassed in and really nice. You know, it's where the higher ups could sit, and then there was just concrete stands here. It was so primitive, but it worked. So you can see where pit road would have been. This is pit road going along there, and you can still see turns 3 and 4 out there. Man, everything else is gone. The whole road course, the whole backstretch, it's all gone. Look at all these birds. Just loving that wind. See how close I can get to them. That wind is really screaming, man. When you're standing right here on the edge of this thing, yeah, it's blowing pretty good. But we'll head down over toward 3 and 4 and take a look at those bankings. All right, everybody. So now I've come down off the hill, and where I'm at right now is basically kind of where pit road started. And I'm at this point because I wanted to show you something. So the reason why this track closed was, of course, it just wasn't getting the attention it needed. It never got upgrades that it needed. The upkeep wasn't that great. It got used for club racing and stuff like that, but it just wasn't enough to maintain it. And in 2017, Houston was hit by Hurricane Harvey. It wasn't the most devastating hurricane as far as like winds and strength, but there was so much rain. And it's estimated that 300,000 vehicles were flooded during that event, and they had to go somewhere. So Copart got in contact with the track people here, and they leased it out to Copart or something like that. And this track was absolutely filled with flooded cars. You can see by these pictures, it was nothing but cars. It was just a field of cars. And around that time, my brother had started his own business hauling cars. And he had a Ram 3500 and a 4-car trailer. And amongst his first loads was loads coming from Texas World Speedway. He was picking up the flooded cars and taking them where they were going. And these are some of the pictures that he took, like on his first or second time here, loading up. And as you can see, a lot of them were shot from this area. You can see the front stretch, pit road. There were just cars everywhere, and the way that they would line the trucks up to load, it was really quite an experience. But after that time, that's when the owners of the track said, that's it. They're not going to open it back up after this event. So Hurricane Harvey is really what killed Texas World Speedway. So where I'm standing at right now, and again, forgive the wind, it's pretty windy right here, but I'll show you. So this is pit road right here, going down this way. This is the front stretch, right there, that part. Grandstands. So a lot of those pictures were shot near here. My brother, I think he was on pit road right about here loading, and you can see all this area. But yeah, pretty sad. Sad to see a track have something like that happen. And really, if you're a racing fan, you probably know the name Copart. Copart is kind of the enemy to us racers. They are buying up so many racetracks and just turning them into storage lots for wrecked cars. It's really sad. And I'm, in a way, I'm glad Copart didn't turn this into one of their lots. It's at least becoming a neighborhood, which still sucks, but yeah, so pretty sad. But let's head over here behind me. You can see the hills from turns 3 and 4. Let's go over this way. All right, so now I'm over here, basically in between turns 3 and 4. You can see the slope behind me here. It's really interesting because it's almost like they just busted up the racing surface, maybe so people wouldn't get on it. I haven't been able to find any pieces of the concrete wall. I was hoping to maybe find some of those that still had some of the red or blue paint on it or something like that, but I haven't found like almost any concrete out here. It's just the racing surface, which is strange, but so yeah, it definitely still has its nice, I think it was 22-degree banking was the original banking. Take a look at this. So you can see that banking just going through and then right into the front stretch over there. But there's a lot. You can look at this. See, this is all racing surface. All of it right there, right there. Just all chunks of racing surface over here. You can see that, man. Could you imagine just screaming through these corners, doing almost 200 miles per hour? It's just amazing. And then it just disappears, and there you have houses starting to be built all out there. So something kind of interesting, back in '74 they had a big concert out here for the 4th of July with Willie Nelson and Jimmy Buffett, and it was apparently pretty epic. But there was a fire out here that burned up like 3 or 4 cars. And one of them was by Robert Earl Keen. It was his car. And if you look at his album cover for Picnic, that's a picture of his car on fire here at Texas World Speedway. Pretty crazy. All right, I'm sorry for this wind. It's kind of loud, but I'm going to take you with me as I go back down the banking here and turns 3 and 4. I know it doesn't look that bad on here, but it's pretty steep, so let's go. Whoa. There we go. And we're back down. Oh yeah. Much less windy down here. Much better. No wonder the birds are loving it up there. They have a killer breeze. I think let's head over to like pit road and we'll walk that way and start making our way back. I'm going to show you part of the neighborhood. They have tried to preserve some of the history, which is good. There used to be a really big sign in the middle of the track, Texas World Speedway, and it had like this big globe on the top of it. I had heard a while back that they were supposed to be preserving that, and once they were done with this whole complex, they were going to be putting that sign back up somewhere. I don't know if that's true, but they did name some of the streets. The very first streets that they put in this complex, they named them, I believe, after mostly tracks. I don't know if there was some drivers' names that they did, but most of it was tracks, I believe. And we'll go over there and show you a little bit of that, and I'll show you what this area is becoming. So let's keep walking. Hey everybody, do me a favor if you could. If you enjoy my videos, if you like the content, do me a favor. Apparently only, what, 93.8% of you are subscribed. Do me a favor and just hit that subscribe button. It would make a big difference to me. It helps me bring you better content, and it'll grow the channel and reach it to more people, and we can get more fans. Also, apparently, of all of you watching, 98.5% of you are men. So, to the 1.5% of you that are out there that are female, how you doing? Just kidding. That's horrible. Yeah, so anyway, if you enjoy it, do me a favor, hit subscribe. I'd appreciate it. So I'm walking down pit road here, and I think I actually found a piece left. Look right here. So this is pit road coming right down here. I'm willing to bet that the wall was right there. I bet that was pit wall right there, and this is part of the surface right behind pit wall. But this is really the most intact piece of anything that I have found. Pit road keeps going down that way. I'm going to keep walking down there, see what I can find. There's something with some actual paint on it. Look at that. All right, so yeah, there's not much left of pit road. There was a little section back there, probably 30 feet long by about 6 feet wide, where you could tell that they had like ground it down, and there was just a little bit of solid asphalt left there, but it's all gone. So you can see up here again, I think on the other side of the wall, there's still some solid some solid asphalt there. Goes right along here, but pit road itself is pretty much gone. So anyway, I guess we'll say goodbye to this part. Let's go check out the stuff that they're building and see what this place is becoming. It's sad to see. I mean, probably in another half a year, this will all be gone. There won't be anything left of the turns, nothing left of the front stretch. It's going to be a sad day when this place is completely gone. Had a lot of good memories here. A lot of the photos, all the photos that I've shown you in this are photos from my personal collection. The times that I was here for the IMSA, for the ARCA, not ARCA, for the SCCA stuff, my brother's photos. Those are all memories that we've had here, and it's sad. It's sad that a place like this has to disappear, but unfortunately that's the nature of the world that we live in. You know, everything is always changing. Nothing stays the same, which is hard for a guy like me. I don't like change. I like things to stay the same. I don't like things evolving, but that's the nature of our sport. It's always evolving. Tracks are always opening, tracks are always closing, the cars are always changing. And as much as it sucks sometimes, it's something that we just have to accept, that it's part of the sport we love. So I'm really excited by North Wilkesboro, that it's come back, and I'm so blessed to have been part of that, to get to race on that original surface before they repaved it. That was really exciting, and might have some news on that coming up, hopefully in the near future. But yeah, let's go over and check out the neighborhood over here. All right, so you can see I'm standing here in the neighborhood. These are some of the houses that are being built. But I am standing at the corner of Darlington and Daytona. And you can see the track right through there. That's the grandstands right there. So this probably would have been like maybe right outside, maybe the end of turn 2 coming into the backstretch, something like that. Yeah, this is new homes going in right there. I'll go show you a couple more. Talladega Drive, Pocono Drive, Wilkesboro Drive. All right, everybody, well, that is it. I hope you enjoyed coming along with me to see Texas World Speedway, or whatever is left of it. This might be the last time we see anything of it. I'll probably come out maybe in 6 months or a year and see if there's anything left, but I imagine not. So I appreciate you coming along. I appreciate you being interested in the history. If you liked this, if you enjoyed it, please share it with your friends. And if you'll excuse me, there's something I need to do.